Cast. Join Joe, John, and Jim as they discuss the biggest stories in the world of sports.
You put them all together, it makes a nice package, right?
Get ready
for passionate and intelligent conversation about the biggest issues and personalities in sports.
It's unscripted.
Somehow got mono. God knows who he was making out with.
Some people call him dirty. I like to call him creative.
It's unfiltered.
I'm going to need another beer soon.
And I said, well, hold, you're making my point, right?
My thoughts are I'm going to call my therapist after the show is what I'm going to do.
What's up, Bean Apple fans? Welcome back. Week 16. Getting ready to break this one down for the Jets and the Giants. John, you've got a little bit of time to wait for that one for your solo show. Strictly built around you, but here we are breaking down our games. The Jets' improbable winning streak continues. The Giants' grip, their grasp on a playoff hope is quickly fading away. We'll see how this one goes. We'll break it down, talk about how we feel, talk about reactions to the game, and kind of recap any highlights and lowlights from this week. So,
Both
you guys,
highlights.
Yeah.
Great games.
Yeah,
Yes.
beautiful.
yeah, can't. I'm not ready yet. Let's break down Christmas first. How was your guys' Christmas?
Yeah, it was good. Actually, last night we went into the city and went into Brooklyn. Brooklyn has a couple of areas where they're really famous for their streets and what they do and the lights and everything. So we drove into the city last night, went to a famous pizzeria in Brooklyn, went there first, ordered a pie, ate in a car because you can't eat inside.
Naturally.
And then, it was freezing out, but still, bought the pie, ate outside, walked over to the light show. Then we ended up going into Manhattan, lower Manhattan, down on Wall Street, because there's a big tree in front of the stock exchange. And went out there, walked around a little bit, and then headed home. But yeah, it was a good 4-day weekend. I know John had a longer vacation than I did here, but we enjoyed it.
Nice.
Nice. Mine went well. Very quiet. It was just me, my wife, my brother-in-law, and my dad. We all kind of just chilled. Actually, I made a prime rib. Came out really good. Tried something new. You cook it at like 500 for like 5 minutes per pound, and then turn the oven off and let it sit for 2 hours, and it comes out perfect. Wow. True story, it does.
Wow.
Came out awesome. And then my brother-in-law, Joe, this will be near and dear to your heart. My brother-in-law got me this little beer making kit, and I threw together a batch that morning. And we'll see how it comes out. Out. It's still
what was this
now.
kit? What was it? What is this kit called?
Something demon, bear demon, or something like that. I can't remember.
It's not that.
I'll have to look it up.
It's not that little shitty plastic barrel of beer that you put it in that comes with the hops and everything mixed into.
No.
Like what is it called, Mr. Brew or something like that?
Yeah. Wasn't
Good.
that? It was. I mean, it took a little bit of ingenuity, not a whole lot. I'm going to see how it is, and then
Nice.
I may have to hit you up for some tips on how to really get into it. So
yeah,
I think it's something I want to do.
Good. Yeah, I've got some experience. I haven't brewed in a long time. Pisses me off. I have a whole electric setup in the garage that I upgraded to when I got here, and I haven't brewed anything in months.
Oh, wow.
I just haven't had time to do it. So it sucks. But it is, but it's funny. I tried I tried to do prime rib. It was the first time I tried to do it, and I tried the same exact thing you did. So my brother went over to his buddies. They have a big family thing in Alaska. He went out there and they did a prime rib, and it looked unbelievable. And I was like, dude, you got to tell me what his secret is, so I know what I'm doing. Same exact thing. Put it in. He just takes like a big thing of butter, puts some thyme, some different herbs, different things, and coats it like a cake. And then he said, put it in at 500 for 5 minutes a pound and then just let it sit for 2 hours. So I did it a little different. I put it on my smoker, turned that up to 500. I cooked that for 5 minutes a pound. And then I set the oven in the house to 500. So as soon as it was done, I turned off the oven in the house, moved it inside, and then let it sit in the oven inside. So that way, because outside it would cool off way too fast, right? So, so I did that, but it did not cook right. So like the center was still almost raw, which was kind of.
It may have been the initial 500 out in the. I mean, I know the temp said 500, but was it truly, was it cooler maybe where the meat was? I don't know. That could have been it. But I mean, mine was, my wife liked it rare, and it was like prime rib rare for us. So,
well, when you cook with the smoker, when you cook with the smoker, is it the same? I mean, the temperature says the same, but does it penetrate the same way that the regular heat does in an oven?
I don't think so. I think it's a little bit cooler in there because of where it is. Plus, it depends what vents you have open at the time, too. I don't know. I just started smoking meat, too. So I've noticed that sometimes it takes a little longer. Yeah, the reverse sear is awesome, too. Yeah, reverse sear is a good one.
A reverse sear. Yeah, I like a good sear. I've never heard of what's a reverse sear?
You sear it at the very end. You're searing it at the very end. It's slow the whole time. Yeah. And then you just sear the shit out of it at the very end. Okay.
Yeah. I didn't know that was called reverse sear. Okay. I learned something tonight.
Yeah.
So Carlos, I was going to go this way and go kind of low and slow on the smoker like that at 225. And I was going to look into the hours. I didn't know exactly how long, but that's what I was thinking, to do it that way and then turn it up and just sear it right there at the end. And I probably should have gone that way. So that way I would have got more smoke penetration as well at 225 instead of quickly at 500 degrees, because I only cooked it for about 30 minutes. It was just like a little almost 6 pounder. So,
sounds about right though.
Yeah, it just didn't come out right. It should have went 225 and then just turned it up to 500 and then done it that way. But
next time, just try it in the oven. Try it strictly in the oven.
Yeah. I'll give it a shot. But I mean,
because once you open that oven at 500, that's probably where it went wrong, to be quite honest. It's like my brother told me, don't even think of opening it, because you're going to lose heat and it's not going to cook right. And that's probably what it did, The Jets cooked the Browns today.
Yeah.
Sure did.
So it was weird. So let's talk about some Jets today. Oh my God!
What a game!
What is this team doing? I am at an absolute loss. Like, they go in and they beat a 9-win. They go to California and beat a 9-win Rams team, and then they just manhandled the Browns. Which, yes, I get it. They had 4 wide receivers out. Totally get it, but they couldn't run the ball. They had very, very little success running the ball, and they started out 4 carries for no yards. Nick Chubb, 4 carries for no yards to start the game. That's insane. I mean, this.
Why abandon the run? I mean,
and then they just kicked it to the curb.
18 rushes for Cleveland with 4 receivers out. So you're saying Mayfield go beat the Jets, and he was 27 for 53. I mean, he was terrible. So you're going to rely on Mayfield to beat a team when you know he can't do it. They should have ran the ball 55 times today. Honestly, they should have. They should have thrown the ball less than 20 times today. They would have won. So I don't know. I mean, I can't see how Cleveland would want to lose this game. But my God, the Browns handed it to the Jets. They truly did. They had a baby muck. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
No Trevor Lawrence in the AFC East next year, my friends.
Man, I'll tell you though, the Jets and I was flipping back and forth between my team and the Jets, but the Jets were fighting. I mean, right to the end. I mean, if they had that fight earlier in the season, it would have been a different season, I thought. I mean, the other games that I've tuned into, they don't always seem like they're sleepwalking. But man, today they were even right to the end of the game, dancing on the sidelines. I mean, this team does not want to lay down. They're not worried about getting a pick. They want to win. They tasted it last week. They want to win again, and then they're going to try and win next week too. They're going to try to keep winning. It was nonstop. They got a taste for victory, and now they want to continue drinking it. So,
yes, they do. Jets definitely need Lawrence.
No, Trevor.
Mike, it's okay.
I'm having some audio.
You don't have to admit your pain right now. You don't have to admit your pain right now. It's okay.
Trades, huh?
I don't think they're going to trade. I think there's good enough quarterbacks coming out where you take one of these guys coming out. I don't see why you wouldn't. I mean, unless they don't value one of these other quarterbacks coming out the way they. I don't know. I mean, I guess trade it, and I mean, you better hope you hit. But
you guys keep going. I got to switch this up.
Sure. I don't know. To me, depending on what haul you could get, depending on what teams are giving up, absolutely, I would explore trading the number 2 pick because chances are you're going to get a pretty good haul coming in. I mean, every team does it, or unless Mike, like you were saying earlier, what if the Jets trade up for number 1? I mean, they went from having a number 1 pick to having to trade up and give the farm for that. I agree, Johnny Muck. It's Lawrence and everybody else, but it's what the Jets are going to want. It depends if Gase is going to be there. It depends who the GM loves. Quite honestly, it's who they like. Who knows? Maybe they like Fields the whole time, or someone else. I don't know. I mean, I definitely would. I mean, if you can get 3 first-round picks in a second, absolutely.
Yeah,
couldn't agree more.
And that all depends on. That depends on who you're trading out with, but like we're talking about, if you've got to trade out, say with, say the Broncos want to jump up right now, they're picking at like 16, I think it is. They're going to have to give up a lot. I mean, to jump from 16 to 2, you're going to have to give up, 3 firsts and a couple of seconds, I'm guessing, and maybe even a player thrown in there as well to jump up that much to get a quarterback and to be able to jump up ahead of Carolina, Atlanta, Detroit. Those are teams that you can't take out right now. They're going to be in the hunt for a quarterback, and you've got to be worried about that. So
I think Carolina's set with Teddy, though. I don't see Carolina doing anything crazy. They just paid him some money. I can see Detroit.
I thought it was only Atlanta. A 2-year. I thought Teddy's only on a 2-year contract, which would mean he's going into his last year. Are you convinced that he's the guy?
I mean, I think he's viable for that offense, but I mean, you got to look at that team. It's just like the Giants. They lost their best player for the year, within 4 weeks. So, I mean, he doesn't look bad. He has decent receivers around him. I don't know. I like Teddy Bridgewater. I do. I'd like to see him a full year healthy. I really would, with a healthy McCaffrey. I mean, it's like Jones. We don't know how good Jones could have been this year because he couldn't dump it off to Saquon. You know what I mean? And throw it to him 12 times a game.
Yeah,
that's right.
Would Slayton have gotten 100 catches this year with 1,500 yards had Saquon been a threat out of the backfield? You don't know. Linebackers have to play in that.
Right.
That's right.
And sorry, they're not. The Broncos are 12th. They're not 16th as we stand right now.
Yeah, probably top 10. Broncos will probably end up top 10, to be quite honest. They're 12 now. I mean, they look terrible. They're
losing right now.
Yeah.
So you're right. Broncos are going to need a quarterback. That may be one of your most viable options, but will Elway do that? I don't know.
It's a
lot.
I think
he needs to do something. Or does he go after somebody like Matt Ryan? Everyone's talking about Atlanta parting away with Ryan. Man, I'll tell you what, you put Ryan on a team like you guys talked about last week, how stacked kind of some of these teams are with players. Man, I mean, are they only a quarterback away? Matt Ryan sure the hell needs some new scenery because once again, they blew it again today against Kansas City.
It's unbelievable. And look at Kansas City, right? I mean, we talked about how they played this kind of, I'm just going to do enough, right, to win the game. They wanted the first round bye. You figure they're going to blow Atlanta out. Julio Jones is out, and they just do enough. They're behind late in the game, and then they come back and win. But it's like, man, you cannot keep counting on that. It's going to come back to bite them, and I'd love to see it happen. I'd love to see them get knocked out in the first round because they're thinking this is a walk in the park, and all of a sudden it's not. Right?
That's what they did last year, though.
I know.
It's how they won last year. It's how they play best. I'm waiting to see the real Kansas City team. What's frightening is they only lost one game, and I don't think they played great football. I don't think they played their best football yet. Andy Reid's going to get them ready for the playoffs. They get the number 1 seed now. They can all kind of chill, work on their timing. Look out for Kansas City. Who else wants to see Buffalo right now? Who wants to see the Ravens? Whew.
Yeah.
Should have been worried about them Ravens, Jim.
That's right. It was a get-right game for them today.
Yeah. I don't know what
I'm
you're
not
talking
even
about.
Baltimore, really. I'm more worried about Seattle and Pittsburgh. Not Pittsburgh. Seattle and I don't have the schedule in front of me.
Hold on. You're not.
We're gonna stop. We're gonna stop Lamar. It says over here, LJ is stinking the place up right now. Yes, I agree, Eric Simon.
Like a serious conversation there.
I love it.
Oh my God! Was that the blooper reel? Was that from the blooper reel?
That was from the greatest hits of the Bean Apple.
It's 2020 greatest hits. But listen, when I said that, the Ravens were playing horribly. All of a sudden, they found their way again. In the last 3 weeks, they're playing their best ball. So when I said that, they were down and out. He wasn't playing right. He was sick. He was whatever, and they couldn't get out of their own way. Now they've turned it around, and yes, now they look dangerous, no doubt. Dobbins in the backfield and Lamar. This guy is so slippery, right? We're not talking about the Giants yet, but God, he's a slippery guy to try and get a hold of.
Yeah.
When you put pressure on him.
Definitely is. So let's this Jets game again is this. It was just hard it's hard to make sense of this team, and it's scaring me because there's no reason why they should be winning. Another just underwhelming performance by Sam Darnold. Like this was one we talked about it. Like how many points was it? 28 points a game. I think that Cleveland gives up. The defense is okay, but it's not great. This should have been a game with 4 wide receivers for Cleveland being out that Sam Darnold should have went neck and neck with Baker Mayfield. Really should have. He had a 50% passer rating. He was 16 for 32, only 175 yards, and he had 2 touchdowns. They shouldn't have won this game. They really there's no reason that they won this game, but yet somehow they did it. I'm guessing it was on the defense. The defense played outstanding. Firing Greg Williams was the worst thing this team did because
right.
Frank Bush has got. I think he's got something here. Him and
Gase work well together.
Yeah,
they're going to look good next year. They're going to look really good next year.
Oh my God! But he came in. He came in here. He took over this defense, and it looks rejuvenated. I can only imagine if they would have fired Gase after week 4, this team might have won 6 or 7 games.
Gase isn't going anywhere.
I could only imagine. You tell me we couldn't have squeezed 4 games out. I don't know. But
John may have a point. If the Jets win again and they're building going into next season with some momentum, how do you disrupt it?
Oh, it's a foregone conclusion. You've got to call it because it's not.
That's right. If it wasn't for Vegas, it could be 3 in a row.
Yeah,
right.
They'd be winning 3 in a row.
Yeah, and I think the Jets will beat the Patriots next week.
Hey, I'm fine with that. I
want to be
on the 13-14 mark for drafting.
Yeah, I'm okay with it too because the Jets can't do worse than second, so it really doesn't matter now at this point if we win or lose. So for the first time this season, for the second time this season, I am rooting for the Jets to win a game. Week 1.
Me too.
Week 1, I was.
For the 4th week in a row, I'm rooting for the Jets to win.
And then after watching the demoralizing loss in week 1 and knowing that this team is not going anywhere, that has changed. But now at this point, you might as well. You might as well win and knock them out. So I think it'll be very interesting to see how the Jets finish. I don't really know, but this game shouldn't have gone this way. Jamison Crowder, Best quarterback on this team, hands down. I mean, that was a beautiful pass down the sideline to my boy Braxton Berrios. I love that guy. He reminds me of a little Wes Welker out there, just fast, quick, all over the field, and they do not utilize him enough because Adam Gase doesn't know how to utilize his weapons. The defense, like we said, won this game. Sam Darnold did not exciting at all. Frank Gore, coming into the end of that game, the Jets, you could tell they wanted to win that game. And the only thing Adam Gase wanted to do was get Frank Gore over 16,000 career rushing yards. That's it.
Accomplished. Number three now.
All they did was just keep running him. It's like we're running out of time. There's still another game. He could do it next week. Yes, I like that.
Wayne Krebet, yes.
Number 2. I mean, that he could be if they actually gave him an opportunity. But man, it's just disgusting.
Did Gase call that play in for Crowder to throw it to Barrios, or was that audible?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know if I see Donald calling that.
No, I don't either. So if Gase called that in, was he saving that for something? I mean, you couldn't use that play earlier in the year. Let's wait till the end of the season.
Right.
We don't want to show him, like my brother said with the Chiefs.
We don't want to show him too much.
Yeah, don't show him too much. He's showing them, this is what I have in store for next year, guys.
Yeah. Look at what I can do. I'm going to save it for when we're 1-13, and then I'm going to unleash everything.
Yes.
And you know what? He's probably going to go to Christopher Johnson and Woody Johnson and be like, look, it was Greg Williams' fault we lost all these games, not mine, because look at what I'm doing.
Look, we're winning now.
And they're going to believe him. That's the scary part.
I hope he's there next year.
They're going to be like, you know what? I think he's on to something, and they're going to keep him around another year, and I'm going to lose my fucking mind is what's going to happen. He's so
You have to give him a chance, Joe. You have to give him a chance. You can't fire him after 2 years.
Yeah. He's so excited. They interview him. He's at his home, and he's talking about how exciting it is, and we've won 2 games, and blah, 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 and the team's rallying around each other. Yeah, I mean, so if the Johnsons are watching that, they're going to say, okay, hey, we might be onto something. Let's ride this.
Yeah.
Let's ride the wave.
Just like last year. I mean, they finished strong last year. They're finishing strong now. Hey, they got rid of the problem. They got rid of the D coordinator.
Yeah, that was definitely
they got the number 2 pick. They're going to draft a QB or probably an offensive lineman so he can block for Gore. Maybe Gore can get 17,000.
Yes, Carlos. Yes. You
might as well. You're talking about Giant Stadium there. You can't burn Giant Stadium down.
I'm telling you, they gotta keep Gase. I've been saying this since the middle of the year. They wouldn't have kept him this long. They would not have kept him this long. Joe, you called it right when you said, God, I can't remember when that was. Early during our show, the middle, when you said Gase has something on somebody. He must. He's not going anywhere. I'm telling you, he's not going anywhere. You guys are going to be pissed. You and Mike are going to be pissed looking for new teams. Root for Jackson. You know, I mean, why not?
It doesn't make sense that he's still there. I mean, I guess in a way, what's the difference at this point, right? Nothing's going to change. Listen to this.
Trevor Lawrence Simmons. Whew.
He had to be nervous there for a little while. And then all of a sudden they laid down and Mitchell looked like Mahomes back there. Right?
Halftime. Are you going to change your name to Trevor Lawrence Simmons? You might. Your wife would probably get a little pissed, but I think it'd be kind of cool.
Oh, God.
It was in the beginning. What was it, 10-10? I thought, here we go.
13-10 at the half or something like that. And then
41.
He said, you know what? I want to renegotiate a contract right now. And I'll tell you what, they're going to beat Green Bay next week to get in. But what a story that would be. What a story that would be.
It would.
Man, well, you know what? I think there's a very good chance the Browns miss the playoffs now because they got to go play the Steelers to get in. Now they have to win to get in.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So if they lose against the Steelers, that's it. They're out. And how awesome would it be to see that happen? I mean, I was just like, it's as much as it's the Jets being the Jets, man, the Browns they always find a way to just take that crown away from you. Like whatever's bad for you, the Browns can outdo it. They just
it's crazy.
can't. Like,
it's crazy.
And you guys give me so much shit, and everybody out gives me, being a Jets fan is very difficult and it's hard. And how are you a Jets fan? How the fuck is anybody a
Browns
fan? I can't. How can you deal with that? I mean, they are miserable for decades. They get good. You're on the cusp of a 10-win season, going to the playoffs for the first time since 2002. And now it's about to get washed away when you lose to the 1-win Jets. It's incredible. Absolutely.
I mean, they have season ticket holders in Cleveland, right? They go every year. The dog pounds, right? Those people are Brown fanatics. And what if they ever, just like the Jets, what have they done? Nothing. Yeah. But they keep coming back. I mean,
it's tough.
I'm telling you, it's the whole OU quarterback thing. Look at Kyler Murray. He's choking now. Mayfield sucks. I can't stand OU quarterbacks. Not that I don't dislike Kyler Murray. I don't have a reason not to. I hate Mayfield. I hate that guy.
I like bringing it up.
And now Dallas is, I think, over Philly right now. I got to check that score, but I think Dallas is beating Philly.
Yeah, they are.
We were all kind of joking that Dallas had no chance in hell in going to the playoffs. Playoffs? And now, here it comes. Mike McCarthy got them boys rolling. And I'll tell you what, the Giants are going to kick themselves in the ass after the season because they should have been there. They truly should have. But I'm telling you, OU quarterbacks, I think Simmons mentioned it earlier on Facebook that no surprising that an OU quarterback choked again. Yeah, and he's getting pounded today, yeah.
Yeah, it's 30-17 right now, Dallas.
30-17.
And Washington's losing too.
Yeah, Washington's getting the shit kicked out of them by Carolina, I think. I don't know the scores.
Like 20-6.
Well, it's still 20-6. So
God, I can't wait to see what the winning record for the NFC East is going to be this year.
Well,
6-10.
Who do the Cowboys play next week? Washington, right?
No, Giants.
The Giants. So that's a win for the Giants.
That's the final. That's going to be it.
Is it?
It's Washington, Philly, Giants, Dallas, week 17.
So Dallas will be 7-9. 7-9 going to the playoffs.
Wait, we think the Giants are going to be able to beat the Cowboys right now? I don't.
What's that? Giants aren't beating anybody. They're done.
No.
Their offense can't score shit.
Right.
Nothing.
Right.
Nothing.
Okay. Don't bet on Dallas next week. Save your money.
Oh God.
Oh God, here we go. You're not worried about Dallas now, right? You're not worried about Dallas?
Yeah.
No, they have not.
The red rifle. I'm worried about the red rifle. No.
Well, he's slinging it around today. I mean, Dallas is like a totally different team right now.
Just like Philly, they have turned it around, no doubt. They've turned it around.
It's like Dallas took that pill that the Giants were riding, or taking those couple weeks when they were winning, and then Dallas kind of made a bad drug deal to the Cowboys and kind of gave it to them, and now they're the ones taking over. I mean, Jim, you talked about the last couple of weeks. We're gonna kind of mold this division, and that's exactly what's going on.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So it's really unbelievable. I mean, right. So Eagles could be knocked out today, and then it goes to next week, and it's going to be Washington, Giants, Dallas. Well, it's going to be. I hope they're all at the same time. I didn't look at the times for next week.
I think they're all one.
Let's take a look.
Facebook's acting up. Watching on YouTube.
Hey, we got a YouTube watcher. I like it. Thanks, Travis. Correct me if I'm wrong, but as it stands right now, if Washington's winning next week, they move on. But if they lose, they're winning with Giants.
Let's see. So next week, where are they? Cowboys, Giants. They play the early. Yep, they all play early games. So that's gonna be interesting.
So yes, I think Carlos is correct.
Yeah, Washington has to win out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So next week, Washington plays Philly. If Philly beats them and the Giants beat Dallas, the Giants win the division. And it hosts the home field.
Yeah, that would.
Which is crazy.
That's going to be an interesting. It's going to be an interesting race to the end there. That Did not see that one coming.
Well,
A six-win team.
6-win team. It's kind of like what Muck was saying. There's going to be an AFC team with 11 wins not in the playoffs. Potentially.
Yeah.
Potentially.
Yep.
If Indy, Cleveland, and who is it? And Baltimore all win out, there's going to be an 11-win team not making it.
Yeah. That blows my mind. Absolutely nuts. And whoever
I agree with that. I agree with that. If it's Haskins, forget it.
He's going to go out partying tonight. Don't worry about it. He has a little smaller party this weekend in the hotel room.
Only 13 strippers.
Only 13 strippers. Hey, I'm not going to judge for the lifestyle because good for him. But you know what? You let people know about it, and they talked about it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and
it's a COVID risk. It's a COVID risk. You put your team at risk.
Yeah. There's 3 weeks left in the season,
and that's what
the strippers will still be there.
Yeah, they're still going to be there in
February and March. Like, they don't care. They don't have an off season. Just wait until the season's over, and then go throw your dollars at whoever you want.
But I mean, who does that knowing that someone there is going to have a phone, someone's going to post pictures of you?
Oh yeah,
you're the starting quarterback of the Washington football team. You're not wearing a mask with all of these strangers, and you don't think it's going to come back to bite you. What are you doing?
Right.
What are you doing?
He was stripped of his captain status too.
Well, good. That's good. That's what you should. That's
good. Hopefully that wakes him up a little bit.
But I mean, he's young.
I get it.
Well, the fact that he's a captain, yet he rode the bench behind every other quarterback on the team, really tells you what that captain status meant to begin with. So,
well, it was voted by the players, though, wasn't it? Was it voted by the players? So he must have did something before to kind of, I don't know.
Yeah, he's the captain, and he puts his team votes him in, and he puts his whole team at risk, by doing something stupid. I mean, come on, and it'd be different if they were eliminated. They're in the fight. How do you do that now? You can't tell your girlfriend, listen, we can't have the birthday party. Say, come on. No, it's just maybe it is being naive and young, but man, you got to be smarter than that.
Plus, you got a girlfriend asking for strippers. I mean, turn that one down. Do you turn that one down? I mean, I don't know. Let's talk freely here for a minute. I mean, come on.
Are we on the air still?
I hope so. I'm sorry. I mean, he was probably like, man, honey, that is a great idea.
Right.
This is a once in a lifetime chance right now. Let's go.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And also,
things like that don't happen more than once.
if we've got real talk here, it's probably because she still has girlfriend status and not wife status.
That's what it is.
She's trying to lock up. She's trying to lock up that wife status.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, strippers. I'm totally down with strippers. And now she's right now she's Mrs. Haskins, and it's what are these bitches doing in my house? No one's
gonna say no at his age.
What's the path to getting
We'd
away?
be down at the shirts office with him and being like, damn, we got to punish him. But I probably would have did it too. Okay.
Don't do it again.
Don't do it again. Hey, man, does she got any friends?
Yeah. Don't do it again, and don't let anybody find out about it.
And why the hell didn't I get an invite?
Right. That's the question. Are his teammates mad that he did it, or his teammates mad that they weren't invited?
Probably
both. You doing as captain, and you didn't give me the invite.
Yeah, right. I didn't get an invite to this party.
Yeah, you took the risk of giving me COVID, and I didn't even get any of the benefits.
Yeah.
Oh boy. So
man. So
especially when you're making that money, Johnny.
Yeah.
You're not getting divorced then. You're making too much money then.
Yeah.
I hope she clears waivers.
She'll marry another NFL player. Don't worry.
Right.
Oh boy.
Okay. So let's
the Jets.
I guess let's get back to the Jets.
So yeah.
I'm extremely happy. I mean, I'll tell you what, that game, I watched the Red Zone all day today, and that game was popping up like every 10 minutes, it seemed like. Every 10 minutes it was there. The Jets D were on Mayfield, kind of like they were on Goff last week a little bit too. You know what I mean? They were getting penetration through the line again, Jim, like you were saying. Their defense was going nuts.
Yeah.
But Darnold didn't do anything to lose the game, unlike Mayfield. Mayfield had 3 fumbles total. And that last one was just atrocious. Why, with Chubb and Hunt, are you doing a quarterback sneak? Why would you only run them 18 times? My God. I mean, Chubb only has 11 carries. Are you shitting me?
Right.
Are you shitting me?
The game and 53 passing attempts for Mayfield.
Yeah, with 4 receivers down. Come on. That should have been God. No lie. And 2 of my DraftKings today, I took Chubb and Hunt, thinking that there's no way they're not going to get 20 carries apiece and they're going to bust at least 1 each. They didn't get shit. I'm like, come on, man. Come on.
Luckily, Chubb got in the end zone, but
he did. But I mean, Hunt had what? 4 carries. I mean, come on.
Oh,
that was just whoever's calling their plays should probably be released tomorrow. Or fired, whatever you want to call it.
Well, I mean, that run into the line where he fumbles on 4th and 1. I mean, that's going to haunt him now. I mean, how stupid. And you got Hunt right there. Hunt is the one that got the fumble but couldn't advance it. But you don't just give it to him to run through the line. Right. Come on.
Or Chubb. Come on.
Well, I don't have an issue with that quarterback sneak because it was like 6 inches that they had to get. But it's the way he went in. It was like just tucked into his arm and he's straight up. Like you dive head first into that.
Didn't
you find a crease.
Players knock the ball out of his hand when they tried pushing him forward?
Yeah, Masher. What's his name?
Yeah, one of his own players, I think, popped it out.
Yeah, but I mean, that's got to be.
It was still an awful play call. I think still an awful play call with those 2 running backs. Got a Hunt sweep. No one's catching him. Chubb up the middle. No one's stopping Chubb. Come on. I mean, those guys are beast running backs. 18 carries. Mayfield had as many carries as Hunt did. How stupid is that? Cleveland being Cleveland. Yeah. Mistake by the lake. They're the biggest mistake ever for a football team.
That's right.
It's hard to believe. Just watching this game, and I was talking to you guys.
The ball popped out, Johnny. If you watched it, the ball popped out before the ball actually passed the line.
Yeah. So no, it's some stupid rule that I just learned about last week. Actually, is within or inside of 2 minutes of either half, you cannot fumble the ball and have forward progress. I have no idea why it matters where it is on the clock, but so within 2 minutes, you can't get any forward momentum unless it is picked up by the person who fumbles. Then you can. So if Baker would have been able to grab it, he could have pushed forward again. But it's so stupid.
It did look like his forward progress was stopped, as John is saying.
It did.
I mean, he just hit the wall there, and then what's the guy's name? Masham or whatever the guy's from the Jets hit him in the back, and he coughed it up, and then Hunt tried to fall forward, but I didn't think he was going. He didn't go anywhere. He may have lost a little bit, but
because he was standing straight up.
Yeah,
right. If they would have blew the whistle before the ball popped out, he would have been short of the first down.
Yeah.
But it really, either way, it was 4th down anyway. So either you get it, you fumble it, whether it was a fumble or not.
Oh, bash him. I'm saying mash him.
Shanny, that's what I'm saying. I took Hunt and Chubb because I mean, in the same DraftKings team, you never do that. I mean, honestly, he throws 50 times. Don't let Mayfield try and win your games. All year long, you've been winning it with the run and defense. You could have easily had even if it was a boring game, a 17-14 win this week, if you would have ran the ball 50, 60 times, which you could have with those 2 backs.
But then also, if you watch the game, Baker was not throwing good balls at all. Everything was high. Oh. Everything was sailing. All these guys are going up, stretching as far as they can to get Austin Hooper was targeted 15 times in this game. Mm-hmm. That's insane. And Jamarcus Bradley, who they just signed as a fill-in player, had 11 targets. That's insane.
So stupid.
Yeah. Why when you have, like you said, you have Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb, and you're targeting Jamarcus Bradley 11 times. He had as many targets as Nick Chubb had carries. And I don't even know who he is. That is not utilizing your talent correctly. I'm sorry, but it's insane that the way this went down. I mean, it doesn't make sense. And it sucks as well with this year being what it is, right? Because if you have your 4 starting wide receivers there, how does this game differ? If you have Jarvis Landry, Donovan Peoples-Jones, whatever his name is, that's kind of the rookie guy that's coming up. Yeah. Is this game different? I don't know. I mean,
I mean, you would have to assume it would be.
Yeah,
you know,
but Mayfield was throwing so bad all game that I mean, it's not like it was. You don't have a tall receiver there. Like Jarvis Landry is a possession slot guy. He's not going to go up and pull down those passes that he was sailing over everybody's head. So I don't know. This was a game where it should have been 53 carries, not 53 pass attempts. It really should.
Agree.
And John, I was honestly thinking the same exact thing in DraftKings, was going with a two-headed monster of Chubb and Hunt, because I was thinking this. I was thinking both 20 carries, probably both 100-yard rushers and a couple touchdowns in there. And it would have been a smart one, but what's this? The rule was put in place to stop those crazy 4th and 20, and I am going to fumble, kick the ball 20 yards, and let the teammate recover the ball.
I mean, it's true. It's a good idea.
Yeah, but you can't kick the ball anyway, so that's
that's
an instant penalty.
Or kind of chuck it out of your hand and act like you whatever. I mean, I get it.
But why is it only in the last 2 minutes?
Right.
Why isn't it all game?
So
that's what's kind of surprising.
Right. So I could fumble, kick it 20 yards downfield to my teammates that's standing there all by himself, and he could just pick it up and run in and put the game out before it's even there.
But if it's a rule, make it. I mean, that was like the Ken Stabler rule, right? He was the one that would run and fumble forward for the first down, right back in the 70s or whatever. But I guess. I mean, why else would you do it except at the end of the game? So maybe it makes sense that it's the last 2 minutes of the quarter when you're trying to get down the field. You're not going to do it in the first quarter, fumble forward. I mean,
right. But on a positive note for the Jets, I mean, we had a Chris Herndon sighting again. So he's kind of picking it up a little bit here. He had a touchdown, 4 catches for 34. Braxton Berrios, 3 for 60. That one big one, 43-yarders from the best quarterback, Jamison Crowder. That was a beautiful pass.
It was a duck. It was a duck.
Hey, you leave him alone. You leave him alone.
I think there was an arrow through the duck too, the way it was flying.
Yet
he did connect though. It was a
longer pass attempt than anything or connection than Baker Mayfield had. So yeah, what are you going to do? But Crowder had a great game. I mean, he had that touchdown pass, and he had a 7 for 92 and a receiving touchdown on 9 targets. I mean, great game by Crowder. I mean, he is a very, very good slot guy. Mims did absolutely nothing, 2 targets, no catches. So that's great in a year when all these rookie wide receivers are going ballistic, that Mims came up with nothing, and Brashad Perryman came up with nothing. Again, how did we win this game? Our two outside guys, 0 catches on – hold on. Perryman had 6 targets. 0 catches on 6 targets. He's our number 1. We won this game. Again, the Jets won this game. No catches from your number 1 or number 2 wide receiver. Frank Gore.
Jacksonville.
Frank Gore carried it 14 times. Again, leading the backfield. Maybe they're trying to kill him. I don't know. But all this lip service from Adam Gase with, we want to see the young guys play, and LaMichael P. Ryan gets 9 carries. It doesn't make any sense. It really doesn't.
Really at the end of the game, too. What's his name? What's the other kid? Jones or Johnson, the third string?
Ty Johnson.
He was in at the end of the game, too. But
after
Gore got tired.
Yeah, after Gore got his 16,000, and him and Adam Gase are going to make sweet love tonight celebrating that. But then he could put the other guys in to see what they've got. But it's insane. It's just insane. And yes,
Sam, I hope to God Gase is there and Gore is next year. God, wouldn't that be great? Can you think of next year when we start talking about football again and they re-sign Gore to like a 3-year, $28 million deal? Yeah. Oh, please do it.
If Gase is there, Gore's got to be. They're married. They're married.
Gore will be back next year.
Yeah,
he'll be a player coach.
So, and honestly, like I want to see Frank Gore continue his NFL career for the fact that his son is like 2 years away from being in the NFL.
That'd be kind of cool.
That would be awesome to see. And whoever Frank Gore is playing with, that team better draft his son. at some like.
Of course.
Just, I mean, how awesome would that be to have that? It's never been done before, and that would be incredible, absolutely incredible to see. I mean, Adam Vinatieri probably could have done it, but a running back to play long enough to have your son potentially playing in the league with you, that is so cool. So I wish him the best. I just don't want to see him in the green and white anymore. So go somewhere else, and carry on your career.
I mean, there are guys playing longer. I mean, you look at today with Rivers and Roethlisberger, right? I mean, both came up the same year, right? Same year as Eli. Eli's been gone 2 years already. And, you see these guys have been playing, almost 20 years now? And it's like, if they had kids at the time, they could be in the league, right? So imagine throwing to your own son or something as the quarterback. Or
you might see it, like you said.
I don't see why you wouldn't.
The rules are protecting the offensive players more and more. So careers are being careers are being extended, and you could potentially see that here soon, without a doubt. And so I was having an interesting conversation, and this is not any of our teams, but I would like to get your guys' take and the guys listening, talking about like the Steelers, the Packers, the Patriots, and their success year in and year out of being an elite team in the NFL. And the person I was talking to was saying it's the ownership that causes that. I disagree and said it was the success of the quarterbacks that they were drafting. Because you look at the Steelers with Bradshaw, Stewart, O'Neill, or O'Donnell, and Big Ben. You go up to Green Bay and they had Brett Favre forever, rolled right into Aaron Rodgers. Bledsoe and Brady there in New England. So I'm curious, like your take, is it and now not to take it away, but the ownership there on those teams are very good as well. They don't get in the weeds. They let their GMs and the coaches run the teams. They don't get too into it like Al Davis or Jerry Jones does, where they have to be completely controlling of everything. But I'm curious, what do you guys think is the key? And especially John, like being a Patriots fan for so long, is it the success that you've hit on quarterbacks that are great, or is it Robert Kraft that's doing something different that other teams aren't?
So I'm going to say neither, Joe. I'm going to say neither, because if you look at Pittsburgh, how many coaches have they had in their history?
Pittsburgh?
Yeah. 3, right?
Bill Cowher,
Bill Cowher, and now
Mike
Tomlin. Yeah, Mike Tomlin. So New England, they went through a roller coaster of coaches. Terrible coaches. Terrible coaches. And then, of course, Green Bay, I mean, they weren't that great in the late 80s. You know what I mean? They really weren't. I mean, they came along and were much better once they started getting better coaches. I mean, I would say anything, it starts with the owner finding the right person to lead that team, because the coach leads the team. The GM doesn't lead the team. The owner doesn't lead the team. They lead by example. Sometimes not the greatest examples, of course. But I think it's the coaches. I mean, look at Belichick. Sorry, but they had good quarterbacks, Johnny Muck. I'll give them that. They had good quarterbacks, but they had shitty coaches. I mean, Rod Rust. I mean, come on. I mean, we had some awful coaches.
Yeah.
But when you start looking at the Steelers coaches, I mean, continuity. I mean, the system stays the same forever. You know, they evolve with the coach. I mean, every coach there has been there forever. You look at Belichick, it's the same system. And everybody says Brady's a system quarterback. I get it. But our defense was a system. Our special teams is a system. It's the whole way of how the team operates. So I'm going to say the coaches, to be quite honest. That's what I think personally, because I think Belichick built the New England Patriots, because if you look at Brady's first couple Super Bowls, he was a game manager. By no means was he out there. You never seen 07 Brady until 07 Brady with Moss. You know what I mean? You just didn't. So up until then, he was a game manager with a very good defense. They played the same way all the time. Oh, Jim Plunkett and Grogan. I'm with you, Johnny Muck. We did, but still didn't have great coaches, though. That was part of the problem. I think it's the coach that kind of sets the tone. And if you give him a chance, I mean, if you're going to fire a coach every 2 years, Cleveland Browns, you're going to suck every year.
Mm-hmm.
You know? It's an interesting. What do you think, Joe?
Yeah, I think it's a collaboration. I think John's right. I mean, it is the coaches. It's not just because you have the quarterback, right? You have to have the ownership that's going to put money behind the team. You have to have the general manager that's going to be picking the right guys, and then the coach that's going to lead the team. And yeah, it's you have to have the right team, the right players, the right mix, the right chemistry. So I don't think it's, you think back to even like the Cowboys with Landry. All the years that Tom Landry was there, right? Being the leader, guy with the suit and the hat, and he was the guy, and everybody knew, and the Cowboys were dominant, right? It wasn't a revolving door. Giants went through the same thing with all different coaches for a while and couldn't get anywhere. But I think it's about having some consistency and, like you said, keeping the coach in place for a while, not changing the old coordinator and changing this and changing scheme. You can't keep changing everything every other year and think you're going to be successful. You got to find something that works and then just keep on tweaking it and move forward. I don't think it's just the quarterback. I think it's a collaboration amongst everybody, amongst the organization.
Yeah.
Look at Dallas when they let Jimmy Johnson leave because they didn't want to give full reins to Jimmy Johnson. Barry Switzer came in, won a Super Bowl because of that stacked team. What have they done since?
Nothing.
Absolutely nothing. They could have been what the Patriots were for the next 20 years because Jimmy Johnson knew football.
Yeah.
But Jerry Jones decided he wanted to get involved and control the team.
Yeah.
I mean, right there, the owner is going to screw you. And I'm sorry, Romo was a good quarterback. Dak's a good quarterback. They just haven't found the right coach yet for it.
Right.
Sanchez went back to back.
Brady has. I agree. It's a system. I mean, it's a system that the team puts in place. Every player is a system player. Look at some of these guys that go from one team where they're killer players to another team. I mean, Chad Ochocinco. He went from Cincinnati, where he could catch anything, to New England. He couldn't even learn the playbook.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, does that make him a bad player? No. It was a totally different system he wasn't used to.
Yeah. I mean, it all makes sense, right? And that's, but it seems to be a very hard thing for most teams to do if that's the case. Like if you draft somebody to be able to say this is the system that we could put in place that will accentuate what their strengths are. You don't see a lot of teams doing that. It's this is my play style, adapt to it, or we're cutting you. Like that's what you see more often than not. Like team quarterbacks struggle in an offense. The offense doesn't get tailored to what the quarterback can do, right? And that's why you have so many teams struggling. And it's interesting, like Belichick has put in very good. He's designed offenses around what those guys can do. He knew when Brady went down what Matt Castle could do. He knew what Jacoby Brissett strengths were. He knew what Jimmy Garoppolo's strengths were, which, that I think that's the smartest thing. But I think a lot of coaches have too much pride to say what I'm doing isn't working. Like look how long it took Adam Gase to give up play calling.
Right.
This year. If he would have just earlier in the year said, you know what I'm doing isn't working. Somebody else step in here, tell me what I'm doing wrong.
Yeah.
Sanity check me here. What's going on? But they don't do it. It's very interesting. But yeah, I mean, those are good points. I just don't think it's all ownership that causes a franchise to be great. Obviously they can get in and muddle with things too much and screw it up. But to say like, the Steelers are great because the Rooneys are great owners, they're not really doing anything to make the team great. It's their lack of doing something actually that is more beneficial. But but I was curious to see what you guys would think about that. And yeah, Carl, that's a good point right there with Brissett is, he went to Indy, he was serviceable, but nothing more than that. And yeah, so because they probably did not put the right play calling and right pieces around him that would he would be able to utilize that. So yes. Yeah. I think coaching and GM are much more important. So that's interesting, but yeah, I wanted to get your guys' take on that and kind of see what you thought. Cause I think thought it was an interesting concept and idea to talk about, but yeah. All right. So why don't we talk about the New York Giants, Big Blue there.
Yeah,
What a game.
really exciting game today. I mean, so like John says, he watches the Pats and he knows in the first drive that they're going to win today, and I know it. And I felt the exact opposite during the first drive today. I mean, the Ravens went right down the field on us. We couldn't stop them at all, and I thought, "Oh my God, this is going to be a long day. We're not going to be able to keep up. If this is how it's going to be, we could not get pressure on them. And even if we did get into the backfield, if Williams or somebody started chasing him, the guy's too slippery. He's too quick with his feet, and he just runs for 18 yards instead of you getting him for a loss of 5. So, and that's how it was all game. We couldn't get to him. We did get a couple of hits on him as he was throwing the ball, but we could not get him down. We could not get him for a loss of yardage or anything else. I mean, 27-13. I mean, he only throws for 183, but he runs for 80 yards, right? So, and that's really the killer. It wasn't his arm. It's the fact that he can just tuck and run. And I still think to myself, he's running too much. He doesn't need to keep on risking injury. He took a couple of hits in the second half, and I thought, you're up already. Why are you just sliding and getting down? What are you taking the hit for? I mean, you're going into the playoffs now. Why take a chance of getting dinged up? To me, I don't get it. I think the coaches should be saying something to him about, you need to get down. You can't take the hit. Right? What, for one more yard or whatever you're trying to do, just get down. But, yeah, the opening drive killed us. I mean, he scored 2 TDs in the first quarter, 2 field goals in the second quarter. We're down 20-3 at halftime. There's never a chance in the game for us. And, it was just, it's how it was the whole game. There was nothing else. There was no sign of, hey, we have a shot now. Hey, we're going to turn it around. Hey, this was the play. There was nothing. We couldn't do anything today against them, even though Jones started and Blake Martinez was in and Bradbury was back. And we thought, okay, we're back to full strength again. The defense is all here, and Jones behind the center there, but just couldn't get going. Couldn't do anything.
2 stats spell disaster for the Giants today. Jones was sacked 6 times, and he ran the ball once.
Killer.
1 time.
Yeah, he can't run. He still can't run.
He still can't run, so something's not right. I mean, the Giants were all over him. They kind of knew it. Thanks, brother. Congrats on the number 1 pick, by the way. And sorry, Joe. You're my friend. He's my friend. I have to give congrats, and I'm really glad Trevor Lawrence is in the AFCs. That's all I'm going to say again. But back to the Giants in Cleveland. I'm sorry, Giants and Ravens. Yeah. So this is why the last 4 games of how the Ravens are playing is why I picked them to go to the Super Bowl this year. I'm telling you right now, nobody wants to play them. Nobody wants
now, to. No, right now, absolutely.
Lamar's running. J.K. Dobbins is starting to run now.
Yep.
God, what, Lamar passed for 183 yards, 2 touchdowns. He ran for 80 yards. Dobbins averaged 7 yards a carry. I mean, that's a scary team, and they're playing defense again. I mean, they are looking scary. And Jim, once they got down 14-0, the Giants aren't built to come back. And then I kept seeing Alfred Morris running the ball. I'm like, come on. But I mean, honestly, the 6 sacks and 1 time running, man, that's not how they're going to win with Jones. No. It's just not.
But Carlos has a very good point there. I don't know if you want to put that one up.
You guys are still alive.
Yeah. You guys are the only ones still alive.
You are.
Yeah. No, everybody.
The Giants offense, I mean, what have they scored the last 4 games? I mean, it's low. I'm clicking on it now. Sorry, guys. But
yeah, it's not good.
13, 6, 7, 12, and shit. They haven't scored in the 20s since the last time they played Washington. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Let's see. 20 there against Philly. Yeah.
No, it's been bad. It's been a bad stretch.
They're just not putting up points, and they're I don't know. It's hard to win if you can't stop the other team and you can't score over 20. You know, and I thought the Giants were there. I mean, honestly, when they went on that low roll, we all thought they were kind of going to the playoffs. You know, they kind of had that kind of rode, and then Washington started winning. Now you got Dallas finishing strong. They pulled out Carson Wentz, and now Hurts is starting. So, I mean, I don't know. You're right. It's anybody's division right now. It truly is. But it's
next week's going to be great. It's going to be exciting. At least have an exciting final week of the year to watch. Right? I mean, if they're not out of it, and what else can I ask for? Really, with losing Saquon in week 2 or whatever it was, and in week 17 we're still in the fight. Hey, I'll take it.
Still in a fight with 5 wins.
Hey,
I just don't get it.
Yeah, who thought that would ever be said?
With 5 wins, and Philly's finally out of it. Philly will be out of it today.
That's it.
So they're done. So you got, Washington controls their own fate, right? If they win, they're in. Even if Dallas wins, I think.
Yeah.
Because of division play.
Yeah.
So, which is insane.
If the Giants win, the Giants have the tiebreak with Washington and they win. If Washington loses to Philly and Giants beat Dallas, Giants are in.
Just insane.
Washington loses to Philly. Yeah, I mean, that's just insane. So theoretically, the Giants kind of control their own fate right now.
Yeah.
Because Washington, unless Smith is coming back next week, they're not winning.
Well, that's going to be the question, right?
And they got what's his face out too, McLaurin, right?
Yeah, he was out. Well, he was doubtful today. I don't know if he played at all.
No, he didn't. He didn't play today.
He was out.
So you got McLaurin out. I mean, Gibson's back, but I don't know how much.
But he was questionable too with a toe or something, turf toe, whatever he's got.
Yep.
So this game was ugly, and it's kind of the same thing. It all comes back to what we talked about before they went on this run. Is the Giants win by running, and they can't do it right now. I mean, Gallman was doing so good there for a while. Like they were letting him run. He looked explosive. I didn't see what he looked like on his, what did he have? 6 carries today?
6 for 27.
Yeah. So
he looked good.
I didn't get to see any of those 6 carries that he got, which
there wasn't much to see.
No. Right. But that's the problem. But he was averaging 4.5 yards a carry. That's pretty good. Mm-hmm. So why did he only have 6 carries when Daniel Jones can't run the ball right now? Like,
because they only rushed 12 times.
Right. He threw for 2. He had 41 attempts for 252. Right. They just kept throwing. It was long drives the Ravens had too, so they were eating up a lot of clock, especially the opening drive. Right. It was like an 8-minute drive.
Yeah.
First quarter. But so enough. Anything else about the Giants? Because I got nothing else about the Giants. But I want to say
Slayton had 8 targets. Again, he only caught 2 of them.
And actually, there were a couple he could have caught. Hit his hands and he dropped.
I know.
His hands too quick. I mean, so he had, and there was one he was kind of spinning. The degree of difficulty was definitely high, but it hit him in the hands. So that's what your job is. But so did you see any of the other games over yesterday? I mean, high scoring games. The Saints and Tampa Bay all of a sudden wakes up because there's no coaches alive on the Detroit line.
Tom Brady had a career afternoon, and he only played 2 quarters.
Isn't that unbelievable? I mean, how many 5 different receivers or whatever? But man,
it was insane. Insane.
To me, the play of the year last night. Did you see the game last night? Dolphins, Raiders.
Oh my God! Fitz magic, boy. I'll tell you what.
How does he? First of all, he's not even facing forward. How did he throw that ball 41 yards to a guy that just dropped the ball at the goal line?
What the fuck?
41 yards, and the guy's waiting for the ball to come down.
I know. I mean, it's just insane.
If that's not the play of the year, I don't know what it is. His head is spun backwards. It looks like he's got his eye got hit too. His eye was all red, and he throws that air moon ball. I couldn't believe it. When he threw it up, I thought that's definitely intercepted. And his receiver's standing there waiting for it to come down. You see that, Joe? Did we lose Joe?
Uh-oh. Joe?
Maybe he's not there. I don't know.
You okay, Joe?
I can't hear you guys at all.
Oh, okay. Can't hear us. Well, I mean, so you saw it, right? I mean, Gruden should be fired. So I agree with my brother there. I don't agree with this whole thing about let's not score, because I thought to myself, you didn't have the lead yet. So what if your kicker misses the kick? What if the botches, the snap is botched? You got to get in there. There's like 20 seconds left in the game, and you decide to just kick the field goal, and then I never would have thought that he could have got that touchdown anyway, but somehow he did.
Yeah, I mean, it was. I love it.
We hear you.
We hear you, Joe.
Is that sign language? I don't know. But Fitz more lives than a cat. Yeah, I know. I don't know what's up. I see him looking, but he can't hear. He just got a new mic too. But
so Mike, about Gruden being fired, I said the same thing to my brother today, right? And I'll tell you what, the first thing he said to me was, he signed a 10-year, $100 million contract.
First of all, how did that even happen? How did that happen?
That's because they wanted him out of the booth. They wanted him back. They wanted Chucky back, man. They wanted him back.
10 years?
$100 million.
Come on. I mean,
so he's not going anywhere, I don't think. Who should start next week? Tua or Fitz? I say you start Tua, and then you bring in Fitz again if needed.
Yeah. Do a platoon. I mean, they did pretty good. They both, it seems like they get along great. And, I don't know if you saw Fitz's interview after the game. He said, Flores decides, or whatever he tells us to do, we do, and they root for each other. And I mean, what more can you ask for? I mean, those are two great teammates, no ego at all. Let's just get in here. Let's just win the game. That's what it's about. And I mean, one guy pulling for the other, that's awesome. You don't usually see that.
No, not at all. I mean, look at Carson Wentz and Jalen Hurts right now.
Right.
So the only thing about Tua is, and me and my brother were talking about this too. Me and him talk football all the time. But Tua probably really needed preseason to happen to learn the game speed, because he's not making the right reads. It's a lot of dump passes. It's a lot of Tom Brady type passes, which Flores probably brought over from New England, and I get it.
Yeah.
But they're playing Buffalo next week. So I'm going to go back on that. Yeah, probably not starting Tua would be unpopular, but I think you have a better chance to win with Fitz, because you're going to have to score some points. Unless that D is controlling that game, you're going to need Fitz in that game. You're going to need Fitz in that game.
Yeah,
and
right.
I'm going to throw this out real quick. Brian Flores, Coach of the Year. Coach of the Year.
Can you guys hear me now?
Yes.
Now we can.
Just completely.
Yeah.
Who does that team have? Honestly, who does that team have? And they're going to win potentially 11 games. Who do they have? I mean, a rookie quarterback with 0 preseason, who was questionable to start the season as is. A 16-year journeyman from Harvard at quarterback is the backup, teaching them. I mean, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. 94 yards in 3 quarters. Fitz 182 in 1 quarter.
I agree. Wow. And that's why I'm kind of pulling back on my answer. Me personally, I'd be starting Fitz, but we don't know how that locker room is either, too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I would start Fitz because he has the Fitz magic, but maybe they want to save him. You know what I mean? Kind of keep Buffalo on their toes and probably try a running game again.
But you can't fall down a couple of scores either.
No,
you can't get behind because you'll never get back.
Yeah, that's what I was talking to Dino about earlier. When this is Buffalo, you can't fall 14-0 and then throw Fitz in there, and have a comeback. I mean, they're not the Raiders.
Actually, you can, because they did it last night. That's kidding.
The Raiders.
You're right. That is the Raiders. I mean,
it's kind of like the Browns. Like, you just expect the Raiders to lose.
Yeah. Fitz is the closer.
He's Mariano. Yeah.
Right. But it needs to be close, or they need to be up, and then you can put Fitz in. But Tua just doesn't look ready.
No.
I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but he does not look like he's ready to take the reins. He's had a couple good games, but most of the time he's had a lot of mediocre games where Fitz has had to come in and save him. And I don't think Miami can stop the Bills. Miami's defense is good, but the Bills are, John, you said it, Who wants to face them right now?
No one.
They are on fire. Josh Allen looks ridiculously good. Stephon Diggs, Jim, your boy, man. I mean, leading the NFL in receptions right now. Just looks
real quick.
He looks really good. Their big question is their running game. I think outside of that, but I mean, Josh Allen is their running game, but Zach Moss and Devin Singletary, they look good, but they're complementary pieces to Josh Allen. They're just not going to take over a running game, I think, on their own. So I don't know. It's going to be tough. And Tua's going to get weapons this year. Without a doubt, the first pick is going to be a wide receiver or the tight end. But with that first pick that they're going to get from the Texans,
which is going to be a top 5 pick,
which still blows my mind. What they gave up for Tunstall is insane.
I know,
insane. They gave up 3 top 10 picks, right, to get him, or 2 top 10 picks. It's
two.
My God, what a haul! I mean, that's exactly.
They also traded Hopkins too, so
it's true.
I don't think Bill O'Brien was sane at the time when he made some of these trades.
No, but just awesome for the Dolphins. I mean, how can you get that kind of a haul for to get 2 top 10 players? And oh man, it's crazy. But yeah, Jamar Chase is going to be a Miami Dolphin next year.
I mean, so you think about what is the AFC East going to look like next year? I mean, Buffalo's solid. Miami is much improved with more players coming. The Jets have a ton of stuff coming towards them. New England, I'm sure, is going to have some picks that are going to help them get back to where they need to go. I don't know what they're going to do with Cam or who the quarterback's going to be, but really the East.
New England's got money.
Right.
Too.
So the AFC East is going to be in a better position, and they've been in a long time. I mean, this could shift the power in the AFC back to the East, where I don't know. Let's win 11 games next year. Wow!
Come on, look, try for 4 or 5. That should be your goal next year, man. You can't go from like 2 or 3 to 11. That shit don't happen.
Mike, check to make sure all the gas is turned off in your house. You're getting a little.
Don't light a match. Open a window. Call 911. There's something not right in your house right now.
Yeah, 11 wins that's unless we get Zach Wilson. Who will.
They're not going to win 11 games in 3 years.
Well, not if Adam Gase is back. Not if Adam Gase is back.
How many did they win last year? 5?
6.
Oh, okay, then they may win 11 in 3 years. Because if they win the last game against New England, that'll be 9. Okay, they'll probably win 2 games next year.
I hope they. I said 3-13 for this year, so I'm rooting for Jets next week. I'll have it dead on. I know Joe said playoffs, and I think 10-6. I think he was off by a couple. I don't remember what John said. I know I said 3-13.
I think I said 2. I don't know.
Yeah. I'm going to have to go back and look.
I did not. I'm going to have to look that article up and see. I can't imagine a kid from like the middle of nowhere, Utah.
Playing in BYU, that'd be kind of.
I don't know.
Actually, didn't Jim McMahon play for BYU?
Steve Young did, I think.
Steve Young did, but I thought McMahon also played for BYU.
Did he?
Yeah, I think so. Here, I'm about to look that up too.
That could be the character issue thing. It might stem from BYU then, but
Jim McMahon. Let's see.
I don't know. He looked, but Wilson looks really good. I mean,
he's from New Jersey. That's the biggest problem with McMahon.
Oh, that's it.
He did. He went to BYU.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I could see him being a spoiled.
Where did he go?
He was in. Let's see, Jim McMahon, Jersey City.
Wow, really?
He went to Andrew P. Hill High School and Roy High School.
Oh, Carlos is from Jersey City. He might even might have been in the same school.
Maybe, yeah. Are they the same age?
I don't think so.
Family owns JetBlue. Good for him.
Oh,
wow. Oh, wow. Well, yeah, but I think actually JetBlue is a Jets sponsor, so that actually might work out perfectly. I mean, the family, family's going to be, yeah. But imagine how nice the Jets plane is going to be.
True.
Think about that. Trips cross country. Ooh, probably going to have.
Maybe they'll change the name to Jet Green then.
Jet Green, yeah, there you go.
They could. They
Right.
could.
I only did 6th grade in Jersey City. I wonder, are they the same age?
No, Carlos, he works with me. So
Oh,
Let's
God,
see, McMahon's 61.
no.
If Carlos is 61 still in the military, good for you, brother. Because
No, I'm talking about the other kid.
okay.
Not McMahon. Come on.
But no, that's. I'm gonna have to look into this. I haven't looked deep into this into Zach. I've watched. Let's see. I watched a lot of his stuff, but I need to dive into Justin Fields a little bit more. That was the other thing I wanted to kind of talk to you guys about, but we're kind of late, so I'm going to save it for the next one. Is the quarterbacks coming out, and a little teaser, but what it would take. And, for the fans listening, think about this for the next show. But what would it take for Justin Fields to potentially overtake Trevor Lawrence in the draft? I mean, we saw Baker Mayfield jump over Sam Darnold there in the last couple hours in the 2018 draft. It was Sam all the way going to the Browns. And then, what was it, like 8 hours before maybe it's going to be Baker. I'm hearing Baker. And then, boom, Baker Mayfield goes number 1. So to say that it can't happen, it can.
Well, so wait a minute. So you're thinking Jacksonville takes?
Could Jacksonville take Fields, or is Zach Wilson is rising so fast right now, especially after the bowl game. If he has a killer workout, killer interviews, I don't know if his character issues are going to be an issue, but if he goes to the combine and crushes it, has great interviews, he could shoot up the regs as well. So, is there a potential for one of those guys to be able to jump up to number 1? I don't know, but I mean, that's going to be a deep one that I'd like to get into, but
I agree, Carlos. I'm with you there. I mean, he does. He's being labeled as the next Peyton Manning. I mean, you know what? If he sucks on the pros, he sucks on the pros. You can only go by with what you're seeing. But and Johnny Mutt called it earlier. There's Trevor Lawrence and everybody else.
Yeah,
there really is. I can't see that. I like Fields. I do. I like his game. I've watched the 5 or 6 Ohio State games that there are. They're all on TV anyways. Some he looked really good, some he didn't, but he's a very mobile type quarterback. So
yeah, I guess we're already talking about it.
Sorry. Okay, I'll stop.
But no, whatever. So I was asking you guys, if Justin Fields, they have to play Ohio State. Clemson, Ohio State is the first game of the playoffs, right? So if Justin Fields goes in and just dominates that game, just crushes it completely, blows Clemson out of the water, and then goes in and wins a national championship, and just, like I said, head and shoulders is on him, and he just, crushes it, running, receiving, or passing, everything. If he goes in and takes down Clemson and makes Trevor Lawrence look normal, and then wins a national championship, what does that do to the talks? Does that offset anything enough? Yeah, because everything they were saying was, Fields was higher coming out of high school than Trevor Lawrence was. He was higher. He was the number 1 quarterback recruit coming out of high school over Trevor. So to say that Justin Fields isn't good enough to be the number 1 pick, that's hard to say. But could he go in there and just destroy the playoffs, absolutely kill it, and have enough to overtake him, to convince Jacksonville that, hey, this is the guy we got to go with? Is it possible? I don't know.
Anything is, and again, it's who that number 1 team likes more. Maybe they like Fields more. No one's going to know that. No one is going to know that, especially if the Jets really want Lawrence. And they start offering trades to Jacksonville, shit, you're going to get a haul and get the quarterback you wanted too. Kind of like what Miami did last year. Tua fell to their lap.
Right.
Tank for Tua, they didn't tank shit, and they still got their quarterback. So
because of Joe Burrow's rise. Going into it, Tua was the consensus number 1 pick,
right? Absolutely.
And Joe Burrow, kind of like Zach Wilson, came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And took the league by storm at the end of the year, and won the national championship, and boom, number 1 pick. So
you know what I mean? There was a lot of things happen.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess it's who likes who more. I like Justin Fields. I said before, it wouldn't have shocked me 6 weeks ago if the Jets took Shields.
Yeah, and we'll see. But yeah, and God, I don't want to see any of those guys get hurt to change the draft order. But
no, not at all. No, I don't want to see that.
Like I know, Tua obviously took that big hit, which, physically and literally dropped him down the draft board. But I think even if he didn't get hurt, I think Joe Burrow was so hot that he was going number one. And so that's why I'm kind of wondering if Fields does the same thing and has that type of a playoff run, would it change how Lawrence is looked at? I don't know. Like the hype on Lawrence is so through the roof right now. I don't know if you can extinguish any of that, but it would be really interesting to see what would happen if Fields wins a national championship for Ohio State and he solely wins it, 1,000 yards passing, rushing combined, something like that with, 5, 6, 7 touchdowns, something crazy, college numbers are. But if he puts up 1,000 yards in 2 games and 8 touchdowns, which is completely doable in college football, what does that do? Like that's got to put him in that conversation of, man, are we going to let this guy go? I don't know. It's a dual threat league too.
Would that make you want the Jets to draft him then?
I don't know. I mean, it wouldn't discourage me.
Yeah.
Like I said, I haven't watched.
Anyways, I personally think the Jets are going to draft him anyways.
They very well might. They might. And he's such a good. He's a dual threat guy, which is kind of what you need in the NFL nowadays. Anyway, he's a lot more mobile than Trevor Lawrence is. Trevor Lawrence is a great pocket passer, but he's not going to get out there and run 40, 50 yards. And Fields can do that. So. But the bad thing also is you see what happens to running quarterbacks with Kyler Murray this week going down with that shot that he took. So the more you run, the more you put yourself at greater risk for getting hurt. But we'll see. I mean, you want somebody that can be Patrick Mahomes, sit in the pocket, but then pick up that first down when you need it. But you don't want him to be reliant on his legs for everything. Like you're kind of seeing Hurts is kind of that way. Like he put up a ton of rushing yards today. And we've seen a lot of quarterbacks come in like that, but then it's that one shot and that's it. They're done. RG3 is a perfect example of that. So I don't know. It's interesting. I'm excited to see kind of how I don't really watch college football, but I'm definitely going to be tuning into that Ohio State game because, man, I mean, and every Jets fan should be because that's going to be the future.
That's your future, man. I'm telling you, they're going to go after her. Shields.
Fields.
Fields. Sorry. Fields. My God, I'm sorry. Fields. I better get used to him because that's who the Pats are going to be playing twice a year. I don't know.
An Ohio State.
Watch some of his games. You're going to like him. I'm telling you right now, you're going to like the guy. He's a big guy. He's mobile. He is. He's mobile. He can throw on the run. I don't know.
Yeah. We'll see. I watched a lot of I was watching a lot of Zach Wilson stuff to kind of see what he is. Now I need to sit down and check out
cannon. That guy has a cannon.
Oh my God.
Absolute cannon.
And accurate as hell. I mean, dropping 50-yard passes downfield and just in the bucket like it's just a flick of the wrist, which is nice to see. But at the same time, a lot of plays that are questionable. A lot of things he's trying to force. I mean, he can force in there, but I think NFL cornerbacks are going to get their hands on those a lot more. So, and that's one of those things that your confidence turns when you can't make those type of plays anymore, and then everything goes downhill. So we'll see. I don't know. But with that, I mean, we could wrap it up with that and be back tomorrow. Or no, not tomorrow, Tuesday, right? For the Patriots recap. Man.
Go Pats.
I cannot believe they still have a Monday night game. It's crazy.
Of course I do. They're the Patriots.
God, but the Bills. Oh, man. So 7-point favorites for the Bills now.
You got to be careful because teams are winning. I mean, who would have thought Pittsburgh was going to beat Indy today and come back like that?
I did.
Things happen this year that shouldn't. The Jets winning the last 2 games.
Yeah. 49ers.
The NFC winner's going to have potentially 6 wins. I mean, it's just crazy shit is happening this year.
Yeah.
You too, Carlos.
Happy New Year, Carlos.
It is a crazy one. But, all right, well, we'll see what happens tomorrow night. And, John, for you, I'm rooting for a Patriots win. The worse pick they get, the better. kind of the same way you feel about me.
Exactly.
The less talent that gets infused into New England, the slower it is for that dominance to return. And then hopefully in the meantime, Bill Belichick retires, and then you have to start all over again. So
just don't leave, Bill. That's all I ask. Don't leave.
That's where I'm at. So, all right. So until then, yes, definitely Happy New Year. If we don't see you guys on the recap show for tomorrow night, if you're not a Patriots fan, I don't blame you for not coming on, but still
Tuesday
night, yes. But please jump back on, have some conversation. If you hate the Patriots after the Bills blow them out, jump on, let John know about it. In the meantime, as you can see the message down there at the bottom, hit that subscribe button, please, and tell all your friends to hit that subscribe button. So we're at 37, and we need to get to like 37,000. So we can't do it. Baby steps. But yeah, the only way we can get more visibility is by getting that number up, more subscribers, get us more visibility on the searches so more people can get access to us. So please, please, please help us grow. Hit the subscribe, hit the bell, set that alert to all, and definitely like the episode. And until Tuesday, best of luck to the Patriots, and stay healthy and have a great Monday. We'll see you guys then.